interchangeably to describe Premier League bosses, but they're actually two different jobs. So let's explain how and why. For years, fans referred to Mikel Arteta as Arsenal's manager, but I'm afraid technically...
I don't think so, no.
From his first day on the job, he was the Gunners' head coach. Let's pick a random moment in time. Oliver Glasner at Crystal Palace and Leicester's Ruud van Nistelrooy were the only actual managers of their respective teams. Everyone else? That's right, head coach, including Ruben Amorim at Man United. He took over from Erik ten Hag, a man who had held the title of manager. Might come as a surprise that Amorim's appointment marked the first time ever that Man United had a head coach instead of a manager. But to understand why they made that decision, you also have to get what the difference is between a head coach and a manager. A manager's got a huge range of responsibilities. They're not just in charge of training and player lineups, they're also heavily involved in player sales and transfers. Critical stuff. But a head coach's role is far more focused on team training and performance on the pitch. So whereas Ten Hag was highly involved with decisions around transfers during his tenure, the intention was that Amorim wouldn't be, at least not on the same level. And as the sporting structure at Man United changed under Sir Jim Ratcliffe, people like Sir Dave Brailsford took charge of transfers instead. How all those roles play out in practice may be slightly different at different clubs though. On the other hand, the contracts of actual managers like Pep or Moyes had no limits on their job role and their involvement with transfers and contracts. But those guys are actually in the minority now, and it's a change that's happened pretty quickly. In 2019, there were only 6 head coaches in the Premier League, but by 2025 there were 14. A clear indication that more and more clubs are moving towards a model where the guy in charge is actually only really in charge on the pitch. And the way things are going, it might not be long before all 20 clubs have got head coaches, and the job position of football manager in the top flight is no more.
Listen to that rubbish. What is that?
They get this new studio and it's all shiny, but it's the same. Why the same rubbish music?
And who are you? What's happening here? What have they done to the show? Nobody tells me anything. Charlie Baker been sacked. Has he been sacked? Because do you know what? He was really coming on.
Yeah.
Do you know what? I just really thought, give him like 10 to 15 more years. And I thought he could make some of himself.
Who are you?
I had that once. Someone's handed me a mouse mat. How very 1990s. This is great, isn't it? During the Soccer and Glory years, the show's not obviously started yet, so like listeners don't have to concentrate yet. I went for a wee in an ad break, and then I got to the door and security wouldn't let me back in. That's a slight issue, wasn't it? Shows you're not really cutting through, doesn't it? It's a security guard won't you let in. You have to say, yeah. You don't want to say, do you know who I am? Because that is awkward. But he's like, honestly, like they're counting down for the ad break. Got to interview Mel B about chicken in 5 minutes, in 2 seconds. He wouldn't let me in, Q. I've got to do a terrible joke with tubes. Can you possibly let me in? Is that all right? Anyway, we can't message to somebody list. If anyone's listening, 8:29, just say, are you listening? That'd be really good.
Whoa, hello. Oh, now we're talking.
Right away. Do you know what this means? Some go-get-its. But it's not the OG go-getter. He's done it before, but can Alex Brooker deliver at this level on the opening day of the Championship? It's a huge day for so many football fans around the world. Camera 1, camera 2, look at me. Where are you? I don't know, but here we go, everybody.
Here we go. Max at 12.
Whoa. Stop the music. Stop.
Whoa.
You can't. I've got to say, it isn't just any warm up. And you say it's the game day warm-up.
I got so excited.
Yeah.
You really built me up.
Well, of course. That's my job.
You got me going, ready to go out
I
on
know.
the pitch.
The whole thing of this show is...
I know. Do you know what? I know.
There's so much hype. It covers... Basically, there's just flimsy nothing.
This doesn't normally happen to me.
I know, I understand. You've been working with Paul Hawksby. You're not with professionals now, mate. Right, OK, let's start it again. We'll do this properly. Sorry, everybody. Oh, hello. Here we go. This sounds good. Wherever you are, if you're listening on the radio, we are live on YouTube as well, and your smart TV. I don't know what that is. I've always had a thick TV, and it still seems to work for me. But here we go, everybody. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Alex Brooker with the Go Get. I'll introduce you. Don't you worry. Here we go. You do some dancing first. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the world's biggest sports radio station. This is talkSPORT. My name's Max Rushden. Alongside me, Alex Brooker. And Alex, this isn't just any warm-up, is it?
No, Max, this is a double award-retired warm-up. And at 12:30, we have Southampton versus Wrexham in the Championship. A talkSPORT exclusive presented by Adrian, the best in the business, Durham. Commentary comes from Jim Proudfoot and former Chelsea defender Scott Minto. The OB producer... Oh, it's Declan McCarthy! Go get it! At 12:30, it's commentary versus Hull in the Championship. It's a talkSPORT 2 exclusive, presented by Ollie Klink. Commentary comes from Adam Bridge and former Newcastle midfielder Darren Ambrose, the OB producer. Oh, it's Adam Bridge! At 14:30, it's Game Day Live with Adrian, the best in the business, Durham, Dean, Splashton, Ashton, Lucy Ward and Mickey Gray. Adrian done with all the goals as they go in from the EFL, including West Brom versus Blackburn, Stoke versus Derby and Middlesbrough v Swansea, plus a full classified results service at 5 o'clock. I don't know what the bit at the bottom is.
What does it say? Let me have a look.
We don't know. I've got this massive sheet of paper. It's really gone... There we go.
Where are we?
We're just over here. It doesn't have an OB produced.
No to Baladze. No to Baladze.
Oh, sorry. No to Baladze. It just said MB. Adrian and Mickey are at Stoke. Dean's at Norwich. And Lucy is at Middlesbrough. Go get it at 15 o'clock, at 3 o'clock. It's West Brom versus Blackburn in the Championship. talkSPORT 2 exclusive. Presented by Ollie Klink. Commentary from Ian Danter and former Arsenal winger Perry Groves. The OB producer... Oh, it's Ian, the Duke of Knutsford, Danter. Go get it! At 17:30, it's Sheffield United versus Bristol City. This is carrying on. This is a big one. In the Championship, a talkSPORT 2 exclusive. Commentary comes from Mark Wilson and former Sheffield United women's striker Courtney Sweetman-Kirk. The OB producer... Oh, it's Mark Wilson!
Is that it? Big ticket. Oh, it's big ticket. I can't remember what the rest of the words are. Here we go. Yeah, sorry, some feedback straight in. Rob says, Alex Brooker just pound-landed the Go Get. It's turning off. Morning's ruined. Carl says, God, I've missed this tat. Football's back. says Callie. I know you're not there in person, Charlie, but you are in spirit. Looking forward to Alex Brooker's Go Get It. Have a great show, says Neil. There's only one Charlie Baker, says David in Harlow. Max, first time ever, I'm seriously considering switching off. What the hell was that? Alex needs to pull his socks up. Love the show. Welcome back, Max. Day 1, minute 1, and already the strange new guy has messed up. Good man. Keeping up the show standards. Morning, lads. Absolute amateur hour. Definitely a sure thing to go straight back down, says Chris in Belfast. While you're away, says Michael, my wife incorporated Go Get It into her wedding speech. Oh, congratulations to you. And Scott in 5 says, as sure there is death and taxes, this show starts in... God, I almost said something. Let's be clear. Starts in shambolic fashion. Welcome back, you legends. Hey, Alex, nice to see you.
That was a tough start.
It was
a tough start, and I blame the... I mean, if anybody, I don't realise we're a radio session, but for those of you that may be watching at home, the size of the sheet of paper
giving you like a
that I've
novelty
been given.
check. I mean, it's like you've won the postcode lottery, isn't it?
It looks bigger
Someone's
in my
knocking
hands.
at your door. It does, doesn't it?
But this isn't just
a normal
A4.
sheet. It's just a normal sheet of paper.
Sheet of paper.
Eric says, I knew it was all scripted. It's all fake. Everything is fake. Anyway, so here we are.
Good to see you.
It's nice to see you too. I'm sure everybody who hosts the show on talkSPORT has talked about the new, we're in a new studio. Like it matters. If you're driving a van around Warrington, it's irrelevant to you. But I have found a plug socket. But if I could ask one big favour, and I'm not casting aspersions on any other presenters, but if somebody could turn GB News off, I would really appreciate it. I don't need that many Union Jacks and St George's Crosses and people moaning about immigrants. That is not this show. Everybody is welcome on this show. I don't care who you are, where you're from, what you do, how you identify. You're all welcome. Please turn that rubbish off. These go-getters are not up to standard, says Rob. What a shambles, says Caddy. I think you did
I gave it a go. I blame the scripting.
Yeah, absolutely right. Listen, I think all you can do is put yourself... People don't understand that actually that bit of this programme, it's the hardest bit. You've just done 3 days with Paul Hawksby, right?
Yeah.
You don't have to do anything. The guy's so good. You can just sit back. This show, you actually have to work.
I feel like I've done 3 days' work in about 2 minutes there.
And it's exhausting, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I'm sweating.
The good news for you is that I have to do the rest of it, which is a bit annoying for me. But anyway, look, shall I say what's coming up on this programme? I mean, just the same old stuff. We've sat there, we had 5 weeks off because of the Lions. Thanks very much, Lions, for doing all that running around and all the people who went to Australia to, get absolutely wasted and drink wee out of shoes. But we're back now with football, which is good. And we will look back at the championship and that handball, which, honestly, football is dead. I don't want to sound
The game's gone.
I don't want to sound like that guy, but football is dead, guys. So we'll do that. Simon Watts will join us and we'll look ahead to the opening day of the championship. How tall are they? The knockouts begin. This is the last 16.
We're getting down to the mince and onions now.
This is the mince and onions. It's due to finish late 2027. But it's a big game today. We'll do some transfer tittle-tattle. Of course, we'll do a 2-word phone-in. Always time for time difference. Ian Danter is back because he left us in the summer. It's like it didn't mean anything to him. Yeah.
Everyone needs a pre-season. They need a bit of time off, don't you, after a long, hard season?
I think it's like he cares more about work he's paid for than a favour that he does for the whole season. Anyway, you are listening to the Game Day warm-up. It's Max Rushden, Alex Brooker, and we are here till midday.
Championship. It's one of the wonders of the football world.
And it could be the most competitive season ever.
We were playing against a really, really strong team, possibly the favourites, and I thought we were the better team.
Reeves gets in a mess. Kyogo lobs the keeper, and it's in! But the referee is disallowed.
This is not a Premier League game. This is the Championship. There's more physicality, and that should be a goal.
Birmingham have been the better side.
You would think that Birmingham City were the team that had just come down from the Premier League, more dominant, keeping the ball.
Oh, Kyogo could be in here. He is in. He's tripped the keeper off the post. Stansfield! The first goal of the new Championship season.
And at the end, they've pushed and got fortunate really with a refereeing decision. But
and the referee has pointed to the spot. And Ipswich have a penalty in stoppage time. What drama in the Championship. George Hurst to bring Ipswich back on level terms. Big deep breath, short runner, right-footed, and he drills it down the middle and in. And Ipswich have salvaged a point.
That's how it sounded last night. Birmingham won, Ipswich won. Joe Shannon and Troy D. That's a good commentary team.
Great commentary.
It's Max and Max Rush and Alex Brooker here with you on the game day warm-up. Let's look back at that game and look ahead to the first day of the Championship season with EFL expert Simon Watts. Hey, Simon.
Hi, Max. How you doing? Good to see you in the studio.
Yeah. Thanks very much for welcoming back to this country. Look, let's start with that handball. And I don't know what the law is anymore, and I've repeated myself, and it doesn't matter what level it is. And it doesn't matter whether it's injury time and, you know, it costs Birmingham 2 points, or it's the 5th minute of a Champions League game or whatever. How football has got to a stage where that is a handball is, and I hate to think I'm a grey-haired middle-aged man, despite being a grey-haired middle-aged man. I just don't know if anybody wants that to be a penalty. Who loves football? I just can't see it, Si.
Yeah, you know, it's one of those, I think if you were a supporter of either side, you'd probably have quite differing views of it. It seemed incredibly harsh. I mean, how are you going to get your arms out of the way of that one? I suppose the one thing in mitigation that Ipswich will say is his arms were up in the first place, but, you know, it did seem incredibly harsh. And, of course, it would have been a perfect start to the season for Birmingham City. It's the first of 2 games this weekend between a relegated and promoted team. It was a controversial decision, and obviously a few events afterwards are a little bit unsavoury as well. But what an atmosphere at St Andrews last night. And I think looking at the performance against Ipswich, if it does one thing, it reaffirms that Birmingham, quite rightly, are the third favourites to be involved in the top 2 this season.
Yeah, I don't know what you think, Alex. I mean, I just think now, because those handballs are given so often, and you're so tribal, you want it for your team. So we've lost all perspective and stuff. There are people now who go, no, that is a handball.
But I don't know what the handball rule is. Anymore. I don't like the phrase as someone whose arms are always in a natural position. I can't help but feel I don't like that phrase coming into football either.
No.
It's but the other decision in it was the Furuhashi goal that was disallowed as well. So I don't know what you made of that, but that didn't look like a foul either.
No, it was difficult, wasn't it? There were one or two decisions that I think Birmingham will feel a little bit hard done by. And look, Ipswich just didn't really turn up. And I think Kieran McKenna was pretty blunt about that in his post-match analysis as well. That penalty that they converted in stoppage time was their first effort on target in the entire game, so they'd have been expecting a little bit more. I just look at the overall performance though from Birmingham City and take out the controversies, and obviously they spent quite a lot of money to get their squad into the position they have, like Kyogo himself, 10 million quid from Rennes, more than a lot of teams in the Championship are spending. I think they'll be all right this year. I do think they'll be all right.
Yeah, I mean, it was such an instinctive finish from Kyogo Furuhashi, wasn't it? It was sort of brilliant, and it would have made the game more interesting because then suddenly Birmingham take the lead early, and as you said, the atmosphere was great there. It's interesting. We've got commentary of Southampton Wrexham today, and Wrexham and Birmingham have sort of similar stories despite being different sized clubs and different celebrity owners. And so I heard Jonathan Wilson making a really interesting point, and I don't want to give Jonathan Wilson that much credit, but it was interesting about where these clubs go, specifically with Wrexham, right? Because this documentary is interesting, okay, and it's good while something is happening, right? While they get promoted, they buy new, old, tall centre forwards, and it's keep them all this time, and then it stays being interesting. But at the time they hit whatever their ceiling is for a club of that size, whether that is playoffs in the Championship, whether it is 16th in the Premier League every year, the documentary stops being interesting. And then what happens? I mean, I suppose if you're a Wrexham fan, you go, look, I'll just enjoy this ride because it's better than just being in the National League forever. But it's an interesting thing to think about with the documentaryization of football, if that's a thing, Si.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's interesting you mentioned this because for a couple of seasons I worked on the Salford City documentary, and I see parallels in what the producers are probably thinking here because, we followed their journey from nowhere into the Football League. But of course, they're still stagnating in League Two, and it becomes a harder sell every year when you're kind of then among clubs of a similar financial standing. And as you say, hitting that glass ceiling. And for as much as for Wrexham, they spent a lot of money this summer. I think in Championship terms, they bought a lot of experienced players in, but I just cannot see them being any more than maybe mid-table at best this season. Look, don't get me wrong, Connor Cody, Kiefer Moore, Josh Windass, all really experienced, good players, but you're talking about a level where you got teams coming down with vastly greater resources, and particularly with Phil Parkinson, who's done a great job, obviously, to get them through the leagues. Tactically, it's just very different as well, I think, in the Championship. And probably half of that squad of the players that got them to where they are where they are now as well. You don't know whether they're quite going to be up to it because they've got a lot of experienced lower league players in there. Interesting, actually, Phil Parkinson goes back to Southampton today. The club who released him when he was a youngster in the 1980s, alongside Chris Wilder, both youth team players, let go, but gone on to have good careers as players and managers. And Southampton, totally different set of circumstances. Phil Parkinson over 1,000 games as manager, Will still taking charge at 32 years of age of his first game in English football this afternoon. What are several actually young British managers? You got Ryan Mason at West Brom as well involved in the Championship this year. We've seen 11 managerial changes this summer, but actually 16 of the 24 Championship clubs are managed by British managers. So often there's talk of the cosmopolitan look to the Championship, but actually this year we've probably got more British managers starting this season than we've had in the last few seasons.
And I know obviously a lot of the eyes are on Wrexham to see how they do in the Championship and with all the story around them. But for Southampton, so I mean, they had a really tough season last year, lost a lot of games. For them, how difficult do you think it'll be to kind of get themselves, back into that winning mentality? Because on paper, they should be one of the favourites for promotion again.
Yeah, and, they've been there before. You see other teams coming down. We were having the same conversation about Burnley, I think, last year, and Leicester when they came down 2 years ago. And, Championship, the difference is quite vast. So even though I'm not quite sure with Southampton, the biggest thing is keeping hold of some of their key assets now because, they've already lost the likes of Aaron Ramsdale, Sulemana, Bednarik, etc., Kyle Walker-Peters. Tyler Dibley isn't in the squad today, apparently. And if that's the case, and if that proves to be the case, then, that's another young player who's been linked with Everton, among others, who could be really important to them. But I still look through their squad. I don't know a great deal about, Damien Downs and Josh Kwashi, their new signings, if I'm totally honest with you. But, for instance, Adam Armstrong, who spent the second half of last season on loan at West Brom, didn't have a great time at West Brom. But, there is a proven player who's a 20-plus season striker in the Championship, which are very hard to come by. They've still got him, so if they can find a way to get him scoring again, then, that's one signing you don't need to worry about making. So I do think Southampton will be strong this year, particularly when you look at Leicester as one of the contenders, but we just don't know. They could have a 12-point deduction in a few months' time. I think Southampton have got to really fancy their chances, you would say.
You mentioned Ryan Mason there, and that's an interesting appointment, isn't it, from West Brom? Because we just have no idea. He's served under very varied coaches at Tottenham, hasn't he? And whether, if you could take all the best bits of, I don't know when he started, but probably Jose, Conte and Ange, I don't know what football that is, but it'd be quite interesting to see what type of football he wants to play.
Absolutely. I think it could be really, really exciting. I mean, it's crazy. He's 34 years of age, yet, it seemed quite a long time ago that he was in caretaker charge at Tottenham at Wembley when he led them out in the League Cup final. But he's been coaching there for 7 years, as you say. I think West Brom fans are just desperate to see probably somebody go back to the Carlos Corberán way, because it just didn't work out when they went for the experience of Tony Mowbray last season. The problem I think with West Brom is that financially they're just not quite at the level of a lot of the teams around them. They've been down in the Championship for a few seasons now, so it gets tougher with each and every year. But you think, he's going to be well connected. He'll use the loan market very well. And I think it's, every cause to be excited this year. At least he's somebody who, spent a lot of his time playing in the Championship and is well connected. So I think West Brom are going to be an interesting one to keep an eye on this year. I mentioned those 11 managerial changes. It really is such a varied Championship this year as well. When you look at some of the other managers knocking around there, like Gerhard Struber at Bristol City, who replaced Liam Manning, who went to his hometown club Norwich City. He's a brief experience with Barnsley in the Championship. Ruben Sayers gets sacked by Hull City. Then he takes the Sheffield United job, going from one end of the table to the other. And then Hull replacing him with Sergei Yakirovich in their quest for playing this kind of dream style of football that their owner Akinil Akali wants, but hasn't really happened since they got rid of Leo Rosenior. So many kind of subplots and stories there as well. Marti Cifuentes going into Leicester from QPR, but a totally different set of circumstances. And then Henrik Pedersen at Crisis Club Sheffield Wednesday, not the ex-Bolton player Henrik Pedersen, but their former assistant, who's never really had a managerial career at all. So you really got to fear for Sheffield Wednesday unless they can find new owners.
Well, we'll look ahead to some of those teams and some of the games as well. Simon Watts with me and Charlie. It's interesting you mentioned Gerhard Schröder, the former Chancellor of Germany from 2000, what was he, 1998 to 2005, is now the Bristol City manager. It's an interesting move for him, isn't it? But good luck, Gerhard. Anyway, it's Max and Alex Brooker with you until midday. Simon Watts with us, and we're looking ahead to the start of the Championship season in the EFL. Hey, hello, Roy. Hello, everybody. It's a new studio. It makes you feel like, you've just got to forget how to talk sometimes. That's fine. It's Max Rushden, Alex Brooker with you until midday in the company of EFL expert Simon Watts, looking ahead to the opening weekend of the Championship. Of course, Ipswich with that dodgy penalty last minute to get an equaliser at Birmingham. Can we talk about Sheffield Wednesday, Si? And obviously, most fans up and down the country, whatever level it is, Premier League down to, whatever step, are just worried about who they're going to sign and constantly refreshing gossip pages. But for, if you are a Sheffield Wednesday fan, Morecambe fan as well, you are worried. It's an existential worry you have. And, the fact that this week, we didn't know if they'd even be able to fulfill this fixture just shows what a state they are in and how little control fans actually have over their football club.
Absolutely. And, it's every fan's worst nightmare, isn't it, really? You get new owners coming in, you don't know a great deal about them a lot of the time, and, you place your entire trust in them as custodians of the football club. And, I know it's their personal money, their personal fortune going into the club a lot of the time, but that's what they are, custodians, because, unless they're a lifelong fan, then, the fans will always be longer than the players, the manager and the owners. But, I was at Hillsborough at the back end of last season watching my team Oxford, actually, and, it just hits home when you go to Hillsborough what a massive football club they are. Memories of FA Cup semi-finals being hosted there when I was a kid growing up, and, they have not long been back in the Championship, and, they're never a kind of weird story away, whether it's a couple of years ago, Darren Moore getting sacked months from getting them promoted or whatever. But, this is a whole different ballgame. Not paying staff and players over the whole of the summer led to a situation where not just the players, but the manager himself can walk out of the football club. And what it leaves them in is a situation where they're just absolutely decimated. Other than Barry Bannon, who's kind of at the stage of his career where he's able to commit to the club, pretty much everyone else who's worth anything is gone or will go. And as things stand, Eshron Chansiri doesn't seem in a hurry to sell the football club. He's absent. He's not there at matches, so he doesn't have to cop the personal flack, but it's an incredibly difficult situation. Sheffield Wednesday have struggled in recent years just to stay in the Championship anyway, but this is a whole lot more, obviously, than staying in the league. I think any Sheffield Wednesday fan would bite your hand off at the chance to be in League One next year with new owners if they had the opportunity and go again as they've done before. But as things stand at the moment, they're in an absolute mess. And, it's a bad start to the season for them as well, because they're away at Leicester on Sunday.
I don't know if you know the answer to this, but my understanding is I don't know if a regulator would make any difference, because when Chansiri came in, he had money and he has pumped lots of money in. And so, there's this hope that a regulator will come in and will change, fit and proper persons test, which, you can be pretty dodgy and pass that going by who owns football clubs in this country. But it seems like you are just beholden. If somebody wants to buy a football club and they have money, when it runs out, or they decide they don't want to put the money in and then they don't want to sell, or they set too ridiculous a price, I don't know. Do you know if a regulator would make a difference in this situation? It might now, but at the time when he bought the club.
I really don't. And, his defence will be, actually, I have pumped quite a lot of money into the club at times. And, once upon a time under Eshron Chansiri, they were knocking on the door of the playoffs. But, I think where maybe a regulator could make a difference, and I don't know the ins and outs. Obviously, it's a very technical issue, but just speaking as a fan from a common sense point of view, if there's a way of putting money into, say, a trust for the club when you buy the club, or some kind of side pocket where if the money runs out or you leave, at least there is a pot of money that's available to, at the very least, the very bare minimum, pay the staff, which, ultimately they're the ones you feel for. The people who've been at the football club for generations, they're fans of the club. They work probably for less money than they would get if they went and worked somewhere else because they love the football club. And they're the ones who really suffer in situations like this because, most modern day footballers could afford to pay the bills for a few months. That's not the case with the people often working within a football club. And that's where it really hits the local community. And it's just not fair. Again, I don't know the absolute ins and outs of Sheffield Wednesday's situation. Sometimes people genuinely do just run out of money. It seems from the outside looking in, this is more a bit of a bloody-minded sort of somebody who's fallen out with the fans over a sustained period of time and has just decided enough is enough. But at the same time, you would think Sheffield Wednesday are quite an attractive proposition for potential investors. I was looking at over a third of the EFL is under American ownership now. Football clubs in England, particularly ones with a history and tradition of Sheffield Wednesday, should be attractive propositions. But at the moment, either there are no buyers or maybe Chansiri's in no rush to sell. But then it begs the question, who's going to win in a situation like this? And the answer's clear: nobody. Nobody's going to win.
Obviously, one of the you mentioned Barry Bannon before. It's one of the only kind of good bits of news that Sheffield Wednesday have had recently is him signing a new deal. But I was reading that he might not be able to play tomorrow anyway.
Yeah, I mean, the problem they've had is that they've had a pre-season that's been punctuated by these issues. They pulled out or chose not to play in the game last weekend. And, they're struggling to put a side together. So, it's great news from a Sheffield Wednesday point of view that Barry Bannon has chosen to stay with the club. But not much use at the beginning of the season when nobody's really fit and ready to play.
Yeah. Elsewhere, there are so many interesting stories coming out of the Championship now. I mean, Rob Edwards is an interesting appointment, isn't it, at Middlesbrough side?
Yeah, I think Rob Edwards and Middlesbrough have met each other at the right time because I think both sort of need to rediscover their mojo a little bit. 2 years ago, he was preparing himself as a Premier League manager. Fast forward 18 months and he's been sacked with Luton facing a double relegation. They've kind of lost their battle to keep hold of Hayden Hackney, and they've been fairly low-key in the signings that they've made so far. Alfie Jones from Hull, Callum Britton from Blackburn, with the greatest respect, doesn't really set the pulse racing. But, this is a team that still has quite a lot of good Championship talent. Finn Azaz, Tommy Conway, good Championship players. And this is a manager who, when he took over from Nathan Jones, Luton really took them to the next level. And you see Middlesbrough in kind of similar circumstances, lost their way a little bit under Michael Carrick. But I do think he laid quite good foundations there for a manager to come along and take the reins. Now, their opposition this afternoon, Swansea City, another interesting case in point. Alan Sheehan, fairly low-key manager, an internal appointment last season. But off the pitch, things are really taking off at Swansea. Not only has Luka Modric become an investor, but Snoop Dogg suddenly emerges in the summer.
It's an interesting midfield partnership, Snoop and Modric.
It is. And do you know what? I love these random football rumours. I was sat in a pub in the Mumbles watching the playoff final back in May, and on my own, like a sado that I am, because I was there with my family, and needed to get away from them. And I was listening in, eavesdropping in a conversation between these Swansea supporters next to me, and they were saying, Luka Modric has just bought Leon Britton's house because he insists on having a house with a swimming pool. And when he gets the house with a swimming pool, he's going to come and play for Swansea City in the Championship next season. Well, that obviously didn't happen. But, he is still an investor in the club, so I wouldn't maybe write it off in the future. They've not gone and splashed loads of money on players this summer, so it's not like a Birmingham City-style American investment, but it certainly raised the profile. I just got this endearing image of what Snoop Dogg would think the first time, and I'm going to get into all kinds of trouble saying this, but the first time he walks around Swansea, I just wonder what he's going to make of the place. Hey,
Si, thanks so much for coming on. We appreciate your time.
No worries.
Interesting there that Luka Modric would buy Leon Britton's house. They're quite similar, different levels of player, but he wanted a house that was owned by someone who liked to take the ball in tight spaces. It was quite diminutive.
An efficient football.
An efficient, diminutive centre midfielder. He was like, I can't have his house because he's tall. Just trying to think of another a tall Swansea player. Who was that centre forward they had that was, it's going to kill me now. And had a really big centre forward, and it doesn't matter. But could he have got Lee Trundle's house? Or are they Modric and Trundle?
Yeah.
He's just a bit more tricks.
Too different.
He's seen too many tricks in Trundle's house.
You wouldn't see Modric doing the old shoulder roll.
No. You're absolutely right. This is from, can I get a shout out? 3 generations of United fans headed to Old Trafford for my 5-year-old son Henry's first game with Dad Phil and both granddads Ken and Ron. Making memories, been on the road from Bournemouth. It's an issue here, we don't give shout outs.
Yeah.
But he's 5.
Yeah.
So you sort of feel like you should, but we have a strict rule here. Charlie would be very disappointed. So I think we can't, because that's not... Charlie's not lazy radio to say, are you going to a game today? Enjoy it. I think we can't, but have a good time, and I don't know if it's a great time as a 5-year-old to be a Man United fan, isn't it?
Now we're talking about lazy radio.
Do you think? Are Man United still a big club? 1889, let us know. Hey, how tall are they? The last 16 begins in just a second. Ben says Mitchu, Jordan says Mitchu, Alex Brooker and Break said Mitchu. No, I was thinking of Bafferty Gomez in tall Swansea players. Interestingly, that I was thinking of heights when we get to now the beginning of the last 16.
Seamless.
It is. I mean, unintentionally seamless, but seamless nonetheless. It's the Game Day warm-up on talkSPORT. Max Rushden, Alex Brooker in for Charlie today, and it is time for How Tall Are They? The beginning of the last 16. This is really the business end. Yeah. This is when the Champions League gets exciting. The last 32, let's face it, was a slog for all of us. But we all did it over the last year and a half. So here we are as we play in the last 16. First out of the hat, normal person, member of the public, Richard Guy Bristow. Welcome, Richard. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
Yeah, thanks. Well, congratulations for making it to the last 16. We didn't expect any of the riffraff to make it through. So you're representing the man on the street, Richard. How do you feel?
Very good.
Yeah, exciting. I like that your setup. If you're watching on YouTube, you can see some. Are these the sort of lever arch files behind you? Are they all heights of footballers and research that you're doing?
Unfortunately not.
Oh dear. What's in there? Is this accountancy work? Are these, if you were to open them, would we be able to steal your identity if you opened all of those and showed them to the viewers?
It's not my office.
Oh, it's not your office. Oh wow, no. He's broken into someone else's office to do How Tall Are They? He's ashamed of his own office. Well, look, it's a huge. I don't know how worried you are, Richard, but you are playing one of the best. You're playing the elite. You're playing Barry Glendenning. Welcome, Baz.
Hello, Max.
How are you
today?
Yeah, really good. Nice to see you. Okay.
Yeah, I've never met Alex Brooker. I've never broadcasted him before. I would like to say it's a pleasure to see you with someone vaguely competent by your side for once.
Thank you very much, Barry.
I presume you're very much including yourself in that list.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Now here, Barry, you're playing a normal person. So obviously there's huge pressure on you because everyone expects the celebrity to go through. Are you nervous?
I am. I've been sizing, pardon the pun, Richard up during the ad break. He looks like he's good at guessing the heights of footballers and other famous people.
Yeah.
And I am aware that if I lose, it will be a seismic shock that will reverberate around the world. I will be an even bigger laughingstock than Newcastle United are at the minute. And let's hope it doesn't happen.
Well, there's only one way to find out, and that is to play How Tall Are They? Here we go. Okay, you're at home, Richard Guy Bristow, so it is you to go first. It's a transfer special. We begin with Benjamin Cesco or Cesco. How tall, Richard Guy Bristow, is Benjamin Cesco?
I would go 5'11".
5'11". Barry Glendenning?
Right. I think Richard Bristow, by the way, is a very tough place to go.
Oh, tough place to go, of course.
In How Tall Are They? But I think he has woefully undershot there. I think Benjamin Cesco is well over 6 foot. I'm going to go 6'4".
6'5". So still 0-0, but you're right. It's a very tough place to go. And of course, Barry, when you go away to a small club like Richard Guy Bristow, it's not the facilities that you're used to. You've had to get changed in a porter cabin. He's he's got a normal job as well. So all those things. It's a banana skin and it's still 0-0. Over to you, Alex.
Oh, sir, Barry. So we'll start with you now. Florian Wirtz.
Ooh, Florian Wirtz looks like a little pocket dynamo. I'm going to say 5'7".
Okay, 5'7". And Richard, what have you got?
I think he's 5'10".
Oh, it's 5'10". Richard Guy Bristow takes the lead. It's 1-0. And not for the first time in talkSPORT history, Glendenning faces humiliation. We go back to you, Richard. I mean, to take a 2-goal lead would be enormous here. How tall is Hugo Ekitike? Hugo Ekitike, Richard Guy Bristow.
He is 6 foot.
Over to Barry Glendenning. Said with confidence.
Yeah, he did sound very confident there. I will go 6'1". I think Richard's right.
He is 6'3", according to our stats. But, sometimes we get the heights wrong. But, that is just a minor blip in all of this. So still 1-0 to Richard Guy Bristow. Alex.
Barry, staying with you. Brian and Buemo.
Ooh, Brian and Buemo, I will say it's 5'11".
5'11". And Richard Guy Bristow, what have you got?
I'll go 6'1".
5'7". 5'7". So still 1-0. Yeah, this is the first leg. Remember, away heights don't count anymore after that rule change 3 years ago. There was a lot of controversy when it happened, but we have to stick with the rules that are sent to us by UEFA. Finally, Richard Guy Bristow, he's moved from match of the day to the box. How tall is Gary Lineker? Gary Lineker, how tall is he?
Ooh. I go 6 foot.
6 foot. Barry Glendenning.
I think he's right again. 6'1" for me.
Interestingly, Gary Lineker is playing height 5'10", but I recently interviewed him for an excellent podcast called What Did You Do Yesterday, and he's dropped an inch. Because that's what happens when you get older. So he's down to 5'9". But the final score there, Richard Guy Bristow 1, Barry Glendenning 0. Richard, how do you feel? It's a victory for Richard Guy Bristow. Play his music, please.
It is only half time.
It is only half time, Richard. You're right. Is 1-0 enough? What do you think?
I'd like to think so.
Okay, Barry. No, I don't think you were humiliated there, Barry. I don't think you did anything good, but I don't think you were humiliated.
I made a mistake in that I thought nearest 1. And if I hadn't thought that, I'd have gone 6'5" for Cesco. I'm not sure that would have made any... Anyway, I would have bitten your hand off, Max and Alex, to escape from Richard Bristow with a 1-0 defeat. And I'm certain I'll turn it around when I'm at home.
Okay, so
in the second leg in 5 years' time.
The second leg will be, we think, 16 games. What's that? 16 weeks is how, that's what, 4 months?
Yeah.
But give or take a couple of months, they take us.
It's not 8 games.
Oh, yeah, 8 games. No, very good point. Yeah, it's only been 2 months. Wow, God, that's nothing. They come around thick and fast, don't they, at this level? 2 months we'll chat to you. And also, Barry, what are we at midday till 2 tomorrow, just to mark your card?
Oh, thank you. I look forward to it, Max.
Yeah. You have to wear funny little earphones. You'll find it all a right old palaver in this new place. But, I found a plug socket and a mouse mat, so we'll be fine. Thank you, Barry. Thank you, Richard Guy Bristow. Well played.
Thank you.
There we go, Richard Guy Bristow. It's a good game there, Alex, wasn't it?
Good game. Close.
Yeah, it was tight. I don't have the draw in front of me, but I remember there's some huge fixtures in this last 16. You could have got in. We could have asked you to play.
Oh.
But we didn't think of you.
No, it's fine. I'm okay being
very much out of sight, out of mind. I'll be honest, Alex. If I'm not in front of you in my life, I'm not thinking about you at all.
You don't think about me.
But right now, I am really thinking about you.
I'm your world at the moment.
Yeah, you are my world. Hey, look, we're halfway through, and it's that easy, isn't it? 4 bits to go. Lars Sivertson, that's an easy bit as well, because Lars is good and he talks. We'll do some transfer stuff with him, and then the show will just sort of peter out into game day. Are you happy with that?
I'm really happy.
Okay, well, we'll both do that.
I'm loving this.
Good stuff. Got a bit of an issue here, Alex.
Okay.
Oh, hi, everybody. Max Rushden and Alex Brooker here on talkSPORT. And I don't like to bring up controversies like this. Paul has been in touch to say Kevin Hatchard's been saying Cesco's 6'4" all week, despite him being 6'5". And I've just checked. He's 1.95 m, which is approximately 6'4".
Ooh.
So.
Oh, that is.
Well, Barry went 6'4".
Yeah.
But, once the result is in, there's no VAR. Once the result's in, it's like the Thierry Henry handball. It's like the hand of God. It's all these things. The results, it's Lampard, the ball over the line. The result's the result. But Barry could take this show to the Court of Arbitration for Sport, get us taken off air. That would be an issue for Barry Glendenning because he also hosts the warm-up. So it would be, in many ways, cutting his nose off to spite his face.
Yeah, but from what I know about, I don't think he could be bothered with all the hassle.
Yeah, but also he might be quite pleased to take himself off air because then he wouldn't have to do the show. So difficult decisions for Barry Glendenning in the coming weeks. We'll let you know the outcome of that appeal. Let's bring in Lars Sivertson, everybody.
Well, this could be the
Lars.
This could be the
last time. Lars. Welcome, Lars Sivertson. Hello.
Hello, I'm intrigued by this. I mean, is it typically, can a game of How Tall Are They really be taken to Cass, and how would Cass feel about that? Maybe this is one of those where, because whenever we talk about the Court of Arbitration for Sport and you hear Cass, I immediately think they're talking about Tony Cascarino. That creates a lot of confusion. So maybe what we need for How Tall Are They is that it goes to actual Cass rather than Cass. Would that make sense?
It would make sense. I think after he's done 4 hours of broadcasting on Saturday morning, I don't think he wants someone from talkSPORT to call him up.
I think you're underestimating his stamina. I think he's a guy who's got a lot of fire in him.
I think we should try.
Sort of thing. Yeah, absolutely.
Just ring Cass and just ask him if he knows how tall Benjamin Cesco is.
100%.
And if he says 6'4", we give the point to Barry.
Exactly right. We have the solution.
I would rather that they ring up Tony Cascarino and say, look, you couldn't just sort out the 115 charges for Man City. What do you think? And he has to deal with that one. Should we start with Cesco then, Lars?
Yeah,
it's been announced. There's a nice picture of him sitting next to, I think it might be Jason Wilcox, who looks a bit older than Jason Wilcox did in the 90s. That's when he was on the left wing for Blackburn Rovers.
A lot of people do look older than they did in the 90s. It's one of those strange quirks of the human condition.
So we can confirm here that Jason Wilcox is ageing like the rest of us. He's not the Benjamin Button of the football director world. But anyway, what do you think of it? What's your two penneth on Benjamin Cesco?
I feel like there are two separate discussions almost, which is what you think of the player and how you feel about the transfer fee in relation to, the rest of what's going on for Manchester United this summer. I think the player has really all the tools to succeed in England. He is big. I mean, we can't quite agree on how big he is, but he is quite big. I mean, that's something that's certainly true. He's fast for a guy his size. He can really hit the ball. Like, he strikes the ball with a lot of power. So as this sort of traditional, we love a big number 9 in this country, right? And he definitely has the tools to fit into that mold. I wouldn't be surprised at all if he scored a lot of goals for Manchester United. The only thing, again, that gives me a little bit of pause is it's a huge transfer fee. It is a huge transfer fee for a player who, in spite of his qualities, he had a bit of a mixed year in the Bundesliga this year. Caveat being that RB Leipzig had a terrible year, and if you're a striker and your team is playing badly, then your job gets a lot harder. I think everyone understands that. But he did score 13 goals in 30 starts in the Bundesliga this year, which is not great. You just have for a number 9 with his quality. So he's coming off a not amazing season, but certainly in terms of the raw material that's there, I don't think it's an outrageous bet to take and say this is a guy who can mature into one of the dominant number 9s in Europe. That can definitely happen. But at the price you're paying, you kind of need that to happen, because if not, because it is a big fee. And it's also kind of why I understand United's priorities this year. Because as Mbeumo and Cunha are also good players, but like, did we go into this summer thinking what United really need to do is spend almost 200 million on a striker and 2 attacking midfielders? I feel like there are other parts of the team that's even more in need of stuff. So the player in himself I like a lot, and I think can be a success in the Premier League. But the broader picture of what's going on in the United confuses me a little bit, I have to say.
Well, it's another big financial outlay from United, given that Jim Ratcliffe was telling everyone that they were skint and they've spent a lot of money. So obviously now they're going to have to, you'd assume now, to try and get rid of some of the fringe players off of their books. And obviously with Cesco arriving, one of those is Rasmus Højlund, and I've seen he's been linked with AC Milan now.
I think it's logical when you're bringing in Cesco for this sort of fee that you start to look for a potential new home for Rasmus Højlund. I feel for Rasmus Højlund a little bit, because he's another one who has, obviously he's not had a good season. Obviously he's struggled in front of goal, but he has a lot of things going for him as a footballer, I think. I think there's definitely a version where he rediscovers his mojo and becomes a good striker, but it definitely looked like he needs a fresh start somewhere, maybe a loan somewhere with an option to buy or something, or if you can get a good transfer fee for him, you maybe take that. Because having spent big on Cesco now, it's hard to see Højlund get that many minutes up front if Cesco stays fit, and he probably does need to rebuild his confidence somewhere else. I think a move for him would be logical. Going back to Italy, of course, where he had a better time for Atalanta, would make a lot of sense.
Yeah, it would be weird for a player to leave Man United and have a new lease of life, wouldn't it? It'd be a first.
Yeah, you don't see that very often, do you?
Yeah.
I mean,
I can't remember
Scott McTominay becoming like a goal-scoring sensation for Napoli last year. What's the story?
And nominated for the Ballon d'Or, yeah.
Yeah, but it does, listen, but it does, it's a slight detour, but I do want to mention again the midfield thing. They have been linked now with the move for Carlos Baleba of Brighton, which would make a lot of sense. But again, where on earth is all this money coming from? I guess they're finding a way. Because if we're looking at this now, with Cunha and Mbeumo signed for pretty significant transfer fees, with Cesco coming in for a very big fee, you can only assume the plan for Amorim is that Cesco is starting up front, Cunha and Mbeumo in those 2 attacking roles behind him, and Bruno Fernandes in central midfield. Now, I just want to say, if that's the lineup, the dude playing next to Bruno Fernandes is going to have quite a lot of work to do, I think. Like, that's got to be someone who covers a lot of ground and does a lot of stuff off the ball and has a lot of defensive. I mean, maybe the hope is that Ugarte can turn his United career around a little bit and become that, but I'm not convinced. So that's a big question mark for me with this team going into the season.
One of the most astonishing things about Carlos Baleba is we found out yesterday a United fan had started a GoFundMe to raise the 120 million that they in their mind that they deemed to acquire. Incredibly, now it's at 430 quid.
Wow. I mean
that's most of it. That's the meat of it, isn't it? I love the idea that you go, when you sort of look at, your charity donations and you say, obviously it's, there's no bad charity. Someone stops and says, got a minute, like I'm raising money for something important. You go, look, I already give to this, and this. I just don't know where giving Man United some money for Carlos Baleba would fit on my, friend of the Cyprus donkey and trying to raise money
but
for,
listen,
yes, love.
I think I remember reading that according to, I think it's actually on the Man United website, that they say they have 1.1 billion fans worldwide. I mean, that's their own assessment, about 1 billion fans of Man United out there.
Yeah, just a quiddy.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, this could be a very powerful crowdfunder if you can get them all going, no?
I on Alexander Isak, and no one talks football better than Eddie Howe. Like, in just terms of just a list of things that, a football manager should say, and constantly referencing the football club and, just the language of football, just totally perfected it. How are you enjoying him having to discuss the Isak situation in the most football managery way possible?
Yeah, it's It is tough. And I feel for managers in this setting, being serious for a second, because managers are almost like the only consistent public face of a football club, right? The directors don't do interviews. The owners might do 1 or 2 interviews a year, but the manager is the guy who always gets put in front of the press. And you have to answer a ton of questions that will often be to do with stuff that you're not really controlling to that extent. Like Eddie Howe is the head coach of Newcastle United. He's focused on coaching and preparing the team, presumably. And all the ins and outs of the Isak situation, I suspect is like a little bit over his head. Like that's an ownership thing because that's such a big deal for the club. So it must be very difficult for him. But he does speak. Is he the most sort of pure modern iteration of the proper football man, Max? When you say that, is that Eddie Howe the most proper of the modern football man?
Out of the three of us, I probably listen to more Neil Harris interviews, given he's the Cambridge manager. He is amazing at, we've got this guy in the building, this guy's out on the grass, this is the feeling at the football club. Do you know what? And it's so like reassuring. It's this language that we all love, even though when you sort of strip it back, it's sort of faintly ridiculous.
Yes.
I actually find it incredibly sort of soothing, and it's sort of like ASMR now to me.
Would that be a good experiment? Try to go through your day-to-day life speaking only in the manner of a football coach in a press conference and just see how that gets you. I think that would alienate a lot of people in your life. They'd be very confused.
I would love to hear Eddie Howe on an audio book.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
No,
absolutely.
But we'd have to change it, wouldn't you know? It was the best of times, it was the worst of times, but we go again next week. That's what we'd have to do. So look, do we think Isak will go, Lars? We're just waiting for this all to happen now?
I mean, the fact that Liverpool have gotten a good transfer fee in from Saudi Arabia for Darwin Núñez presumably makes that a little easier for them to get to the asking price. It's on the one hand, the stock answer for this is when the player has decided he really wants to go and he's really on his back foot, it's very hard to make him stay. But then again, he has several years left on his contract. And it's not entirely without precedent. Like, I mean, we had the situation with Harry Kane for a while at Tottenham, who was very clear that he wanted to leave the club, and Spurs and Daniel Levy just went, no, and you have a contract, get to work. And he did for a little while. Like, it is possible for the club to just go, Alex, you have a contract, go to work. But it's difficult if the player is not motivated at all, and you have, it's the second summer in a row where we're hearing that Newcastle are a little bit hamstrung by certain PSR concerns and stuff in terms of what they can do in the market. Getting a huge fee for a player who really doesn't want to be there would help them in that regard. But then you have to replace your top scorer, which is a difficult thing, as a few clubs have realized. Signing strikers, not that easy this summer.
Yeah, some player, isn't he? Alex, how are you? Are you happy with Arsenal's, as an Arsenal fan, happy with Arsenal's business?
Yeah, I'm quite happy. I'd still like to. I think just from a football, from a football fan's point of view, I would love us to have Eze. Because I just think he's fantastic to watch, and I keep seeing him linked. And Lars, I don't know if you noticed, there was rumours of he had a release clause that is expired now, or something like that. Arsenal weren't prepared to meet anyway.
But here's the thing about, if you do spend pretty big on Eze, where does he fit into your starting 11? Like as the first choice, because you're pretty stacked, as the young people say. Like I really like Arsenal for this season, because looking at people, like they've been now the best defensive team in the league 2 years in a row. If you look at the XG, now last season their attack didn't really fire because they had some bad injuries to some players. They were perhaps a little too slightly reliant on Saka, a little bit too reliant on Odegaard. When those two got injured at various stages of the season, they really didn't create a lot of chances. But they've added now, of course, Gyökeres. They've got Madueke in, who can be an option and ease some of the burden on Saka as well. The fact that you can play Gyökeres up front means you can put Havertz some other places. I kind of like Havertz. He's not the most spectacular player, but he's a very useful asset for them. I feel like Arsenal have kind of added to something that was already quite good. Like, it's not a total rebuild. This is a team that needed a little bit extra to finally get across the line, and I think they've added a little bit extra. I'm kind of high on Arsenal this season.
Meanwhile, Lars, you are Spurs. They're my big team who win things, of course.
So I didn't enjoy saying that last bit. I'm just going to say, but like, in the name of what can I do?
But so I sort of had lots of enthusiasm until Bayern Munich, the Spurs social media account was like, another goal for Bayern. Another goal for Bayern. I was like, oh, this Super Cup might be coming a bit too soon for Tottenham. But like, there was that moment when they signed Kudus, and then Gibbs White was announced the next day, and you're like, okay, this is looking exciting. And then Gibbs White didn't go through. Obviously, Maddison now gets injured. They need some bodies in the building on the grass, Lars, don't they?
They do need some bodies in the building and the grass. And I was one of the few people when the Gibbs White thing was rumbling on thinking, I'm not sure I love this idea. I'm not sure. Again, it was a big transfer fee for a player who I felt was a nice to have rather than must have, if that makes sense. But then when James Maddison does his ACL, of course, that changes the equation. Suddenly you really do need someone in the center of the park who can get the ball forward. And now in hindsight, when we know that, of course, that would have been quite good if that had gone through. I think bringing Palinha in is an interesting one on loan from Bayern with an option to buy. So Palinha has some limitations. He's not an amazing passer of the ball, but he is very good at kicking people and stopping things and winning 50s and all this. And you got to bear in mind, Spurs were again, in terms of the XG, they were the worst non-relegated defense in the league last season. Like, they were horrendous defensively. Now, I do think Thomas Frank's rather more pragmatic way of setting up a team will fix a lot of that. But I also think getting in a very, very good defensive midfielder who's great at stopping attacks going against you is a good idea when you're coming off a season like that. Might give the fullbacks a little bit more freedom to get forward. I mean, Porro and Udogi, very, very attack-minded fullbacks. They can have some more freedom knowing you have a midfielder who's very, very good at stopping things, who will hang back. Quite like that. I would expect Spurs to be more solid this year. Let's be fair to Ange. Like, at their best under Ange, they played some incredible attacking football. There were some wonderful moves that were put together and some stuff, but it always was so. There was just no solid foundation for it to be built on. They always looked so vulnerable. I'm sure Thomas Frank. I remember him saying once that the big three things you have to do in the Premier League is that you have to run like demons, you have to win your 50s, and you have to win the set piece battle. Those three things.
Sounds very League Two to me. I like that.
But this is the thing. This is a huge part of what he was doing with Brentford, is just make sure the basics are right every single game. And then there are, of course, more to it than that. But I think Spurs last year was a team that could do very interesting stuff, but the basics were very often not right. So it's a huge heel turn in terms of how the team is going to be led. And I think adding a ball-stopping midfielder like Palinha is a bit of a statement of intent here. It's like there was too much nonsense last year. We were going to be at least harder to beat, and that friendly against Bayern, not a great indicator of that. But listen, friendlies are friendlies. Sure. Let's see what happens when the real stuff starts.
Good stuff, Lars. Have a wonderful day.
Cheers, Lars.
You too, anytime.
Lars Sivertson there. It is the warm-up on talkSPORT. Max Rushden, Alex Brooker with you until midday. Morning all, it's the Game Day warm-up on talkSPORT. Max Rushden and Alex Brooker. So I get, sometimes I say Barry when it's Charlie. And I've got many radio husbands, and I like them all equally. Yeah. And, when I'm talking to you, I'm thinking of them and vice versa, and...
I've gone from being your world to just another... another radio partner.
Just another notch on the bedpost. That's what you are. Hey, we're rolling out the big guns for the Championship. Jim Proudfoot is going to commentate on Southampton Wrexham after us. Hey, Jim, you good?
Max, a very good morning to you. Yeah, great. That excitement at the beginning of the season is unparalleled, isn't it? It's just a fantastic feeling. My lot beginning their promotion campaign later.
Oh, yes. Who have you got?
We're at home at Enfield for a second successive season on the opening day.
Good stuff. Well, it's like Will Still said, we haven't done anything wrong yet, so it's good. Your season's not over yet because you haven't played. Like that is
just a point off the top of the table.
Exactly right.
What could be better?
You got team news on Saints Wrexham?
Yeah, I have. Well, it's some start to the Championship season last night, wasn't it? St Andrews, a relegated side playing a newly promoted one. It's the same one here on the South Coast today. Southampton's new boss Will Still has said there's a lot of scar tissue here after taking only 12 points last season. Wrexham, on the other hand, looking for a fourth straight promotion, which would be something completely unparalleled in British football history. Saints make 7 changes to the side that lost to Arsenal on the final day last season. German centre-half Joshua Kwashi makes his debut. The other summer signing, Damien Downs, is only on the bench. 6 of Wrexham's summer signings do start as they play their first game at this level for 43 years. Ward in goal, Cody at the back, O'Brien and Kakache, and then Windus and Moore, all in from the start. So these are the sides. For Southampton, Bazunu in goal. A likely back three, Edwards, Stevens and Kwashi. And Sugawara, Downs, Charles and Wellington. Fraser and Robinson off Armstrong. And for Wrexham, Ward in goal. Cleworth, Brunt and Cody. Barnett, Dobson, Matty James, O'Brien and Kakache. And then Windus off Kiefer Moore up front.
Good stuff, Jim. Enjoy the game. Let's go to Adam Bridge, who is at Coventry for Coventry Hull, live on talkSPORT 2. Hey, Adam.
Good morning, gents. Morning, everyone. Start with some transfer news, if we can. Hull have added the Leeds forward Joe Gelhardt on loan this morning. He was there at the back end of the last season with Hull. He's not eligible for today, but 3 of their new free and loan signings start. I say free and loan signings for the reason that they aren't allowed to pay a transfer fee at the moment, Hull. They're in some kind of embargo until the beginning of January 2027, or that's being appealed this week. So ex-West Brom defender Semi Ajayi, John Lundstrom, of course, the former Sheffield United and Rangers midfielder, and Joel Ndala, who's on loan from Man City. They all start today for Sergei Jekanovic, his first game in charge for the Bosnian. Coventry, well, they'll be looking to bounce back from the disappointment of last season's playoff semi-final defeat. Added time at the end of extra time must really hurt. They will look for a strong start to this campaign, something they've not managed for the last 3 seasons. Carl Rushworth is their only new starter today. He's in goal after his loan move from Brighton. Van Ivik has been the subject of interest from some Premier League sides, but he gets the nod over Kane Kessler-Hayden, who they signed from Villa and was at Preston last season. And Jack Redoni is back in. He was injured last weekend. Saints had a bid for him turned down this week. He made 22 goal contributions in the Championship last season, so Coventry desperate to keep hold of him. We're live on talkSPORT 2 from midday as we kick off a triple header of live Championship action, and the former Charlton midfielder Darren Ambrose will be alongside me.
All right, good stuff, Adam. Now let's look at the latest odds of today's action with William Hill.
In the Zone on talkSPORT. Brought to you by Final One Standing. New from William Hill. 18 plus gambleaware.org. Terms and conditions apply.
Oh, yes, terms and conditions do apply. Lee Phelps joins us. Hey, Lee.
How you doing? You okay?
Yeah, good. Happy new Championship season to you.
Yeah, really looking forward to it. We're pretty excited by the new season. We've got loads going on, including our new free-to-play game, Final One Standing, you just heard there. We've got a massive £500,000 jackpot up for grabs. And you guys probably heard of Last Man Standing. Most people listening will have heard of Last Man Standing. This is the same. Final One Standing by William Hill. Simple. If you don't know it, you pick a Premier League team to win each week, starting next Saturday, August 16th. If they win, you stay in. If they lose or draw, you're out, and you can only pick a team once per game. And you can also set up private leagues between mates, so no need for anyone to draw the short straw and do all the admin with spreadsheets and getting all the moans from everyone each week. We'll take care of all that. You just need to go to the app. And we've set up a talkSPORT version, a talkSPORT League, which listeners can play alongside the main game. To get involved in that, you go to the Final One Standing page on the William Hill app, select Find League, type in TalkSport, and then you make your pick. It's free to play. There's a £5,000 prize for the TalkSport final one standing. That'll be split if we have multiple winners, just like the main game, the £500,000 split if there's multiple winners at the end. And I was wondering, like, have you guys played it before? Have you got tactics on this? I mean, everyone I speak to over the last few weeks, we launched it a couple of weeks ago. We've got 150,000 people in the main game already. Everyone seems to have a view on how you play this game, whether you go big early on or you save the big hitters till a bit later on, week 4,
You've
week
got to take
5,
each game as it comes, Lee. You just got to be in that draw. You just
See how you feel.
Yeah, but that's how you've got to play it. You just got to go. I mean, you can at 3 games ahead, but you know, it's a lot of changes in the game. What I don't understand is how does it? Surely you just end up with one winner eventually, right? Don't you? Like, how is it a split pot? Because if you just keep going and keep going and keep going, eventually, but that might take years with 200,000 players.
Yeah, exactly. And you could have the situation where everyone's picked the same one on the last, on that very last round, and it just so happens that a few people, there's a few shock results in that final one. So, yeah, but yeah, it'd be great to have one.
But then you have to do a rollover. That's the way it works for me. The way
to have one winner.
Yeah, but the way it works out when we do it is, I'm not going to. I presume I can't change William Hill's game on here. But like, if 2 people are left in and they both lose, everyone's back in. So so then if you go, and then suddenly this could roll over. And I'm not one for competitions taking more than a year or 2 or 3, but this could go on forever, Lee, and it would get bigger because then everyone has to put back in again. And then, it could be a £20 million prize. I'm just giving ideas. I don't know if you run the whole company, but I'm just giving you some ideas.
No, and I like it. We'll get you involved earlier on. But what we're going to do is have new games every single week. So if you do get knocked out, every week there'll be a new game. Okay. And there'll be jackpots all season long, so you can always be involved in final one standing. But we will get you involved, Max, at the early playing stage for the next one. If
thank
that's
you
all
so
right.
much. And if we enter, can we win £500,000, or is there some kind of nonsense like, well, you work for talkSPORT, so you can't?
I'm sure if you check the talkSPORT T's and C's, you'll be restricted from winning £500,000.
I'm only a temp.
You're a temp. like I still need £500,000. Like it's not like I don't need it. What else are you throwing at me today, Lee?
Yeah, well, we're going big on ACCAs this season. We've got ACCA Boost on the app and in shop. So minimum of 4 legs.
ACCA Boost? It was a great song in the 80s, wasn't it? I loved it. Sorry, crack on, Lee.
We couldn't get the rights for the music, unfortunately. So minimum of 4 legs activates that. So the more legs, the bigger the percentage boost goes up. I've got one here. It's 5 home favourites. Coventry to beat Hull in the 12-13. Middlesbrough to win against Swansea. West Brom to pick up all 3 points against Blackburn. And Sheffield United to beat Bristol. So that's Coventry, Borough, West Brom, Sheffield United and Crawley to overcome Newport. That qualifies you for the boost, and that goes to just under 18-1 for those 5 home favourites. You can add more if you like, of course. Separate to that, there's a free ACCA on the app. T's and C's are available there. And, of course, we've got an epic boost. Make sure you're with us every weekend for these epic boosts. For Saints to score in the first half against Wrexham at even money in the 12:30 kickoff. All the T's and C's, like I said, on the app for that one as well. Loads going on. Can't wait to listen to it all.
Good stuff, Lee. Anything else before we tell you to go away?
That'll do. I'd like to get your picks next week, though, on final one standing. So when we do this next week,
it's after the Bournemouth-Liverpool game, isn't it?
Yeah. The first game that qualifies is the 12:30 next Saturday.
All right.
So everyone can get involved on Saturday morning, and we'll get your picks then.
Okay, got it. Thank you, Lee. Cheers, pal.
Cheers, Lee.
Thanks, guys.
You can join the talkSPORT Final One Standing League. You can win a share of the £5,000 jackpot. Use code talkSPORT to play. Terms and conditions apply. 18+, gambleaware.org.
In the Zone on talkSPORT. Brought to you by Final One Standing. New from William Hill. 18+, gambleaware.org. Terms and conditions apply.
What's the best goal, Andy?
Josimar.
Oh, lovely. Just one word needed.
Ian
is a Man City fan. What's the best year, Ian?
2012, Aguero!
Oh, never call again. Too many words. Don't use your phone again. Michael, throw your SIM card out of your phone. Throw it out the window. Drive
Burn
over
your
it.
phone. Burn it.
Michael, as a Preston fan, what's the best goal?
Poppycock.
What a great phone-in.
Phone-in.
Here we go then, 03717 223344. It's a two-word phone-in. Very much a fact-finding mission here. Where should we start? Should we start at the top and work down, team? You all ready? This is tough for the guys behind the glass because I can do a best Jim White and say the phone lines are going red hot when he's doing what's the best team in the Midlands and no one's called. But it's all right. It's real here. Where are we starting? Do you choose? Do I choose? Is anybody listening to me? Are you listening to me? We'll start. Ollie, it's a two-word phone-in. Ollie, who do you support and where are you going to finish?
West Brom 6.
Perfect. That's all I want. Who are we sticking up next? Jamie, who do you support and where are you going to finish?
Wolves. Bottom.
03717 223344. Martin, who do you support and where are you going to finish?
Northampton Town 20th.
I love this enthusiasm this early in the season. Where are we going next, team? Simon, who do you support? Where are you going to finish?
Blackpool top.
Oh, some enthusiasm. Okay, good luck to you, Simon. 03717. The phone calls are coming quicker than they can deal with. Ellis, who do you support? Where are you going to finish?
Blackpool 5th.
Blackpool 5th. They've gone from 1st to 5th in a matter of seconds. This is an extraordinary downturn. By the end of the phone, and they'll be relegated. 03717 223344. Trevor, who do you support? Where are you going to finish? He's gone. Trevor's gone. It was too much for him. He couldn't cope. Marcus, who do you support? Where are you going to finish?
Leeds United 15.
Leeds United 15th. I don't disagree with you. This is the two-word phone. And Jack, who do you support and where are you going to finish?
Forest 3rd.
Good luck with that. Although, look, I said they'd be relegated last season, and I was wrong. Yeah, look, in Nuno you trust. It is the two-word phone in 03717 223344. Richard, who do you support? Where are you going to finish?
Manchester United 5th.
Not too sure. Keep the phone lines, keep the phones coming in, keep the calls coming in. Put another one in the box. Who's next? Luke, who do you support, and where are you going to finish?
Blackburn bankrupt.
Okay, there's some positivity. We need some music for this phone in, otherwise it's completely ridiculous. We're covering it up. I mean, listen, it's a lot of work.
Can we give you some background?
Yeah, really good. If you can. This phoning will never end. There's so many calls. Stick another one on. Stick another one in. It doesn't matter. We don't need the name. Well, I suppose they need the name, don't they? 03717. It's just too fast. The thing is, right, the people who do the calls on this show, we never take any calls. They're just sat as some teenager just going, yeah, I just work for Talk, don't have to do anything. And suddenly we launch this on them and they're having a panic attack. They're only 17. They've never answered a real phone in their life. They just do WhatsApp voice notes. And now they're like, how do I lift up this receiver? Chris, who do you support and where are you going to finish?
Wolves, 20th.
Wolves 20th. Good luck to you. Solid relegation. Season done by November. Do you want to carry on with this, or is it too much? Does everyone want to quit Talk Sport? We're carrying on. Johnny, who do you support? Where are you going to finish?
Derby Rovers, bottom.
So enthusiastic for that prediction.
Where's the music? Callum, who do you support? Where are you going to finish? Callum?
Top. Come on, the boys.
Which team was that?
Who'd you support?
Arsenal.
Arsenal top. Well, listen, I mean, I'd happily do this forever. We've got enough calls to the game. Adrian doesn't need to do the show. He doesn't need to do the show. We can't turn all these people down. Scott Minto's waiting. Hey, Scott, are you there? I've gone too quickly to Scott Minto, poor bloke. Look at these guys. You've got to think on your toes here. This isn't drive time. Yes, Scott, how are you?
I'm good, mate. How are you?
Yeah, excellent, thanks. So it's just 2 words we need from you, Scott. That's the way this show's working now.
No, well, I've just said I can't mention any teams because I've got too many that I support.
That's true, isn't it? Oh, so where are they all? Let's go on.
I have a foot in many camps.
This is good stuff now, isn't it? Scott Minto. Not that I don't know every club you played for from Wikipedia. Charlton Athletic. Where are you going to finish?
We've had this conversation before.
Yeah, where are Charlton finishing?
Let's go 16th.
16th, Chelsea.
4th.
Benfica.
1st.
West Ham.
12th.
Rotherham.
5th.
Okay, interesting. So you are...
well done. Got that Wikipedia up very quickly, didn't you?
I knew all that. There's no point anyone playing the season now. Scott Minto decided where everyone finishes. Hey, look, a big game today. And it's exciting for Southampton, and Wrexham is a fascinating story. Yeah?
Do you know what? It's an amazing story, isn't it? Back to back promotion, something that's never been done before in English football from the 5th tier onwards, and it is incredible. It's the first game since 1982 that they played in the 2nd tier of football, and the job that Phil Parkinson has done has just been absolutely insane. And you have to give the owners a lot of credit, and not necessarily for what they've done in terms of the awareness, not just in sort of the UK but in America as well, but actually trusting Phil Parkinson. And they could have tried to bring in a massive name, and they didn't, and they knew exactly what he brings to the party, really. And I don't even think Pep Guardiola could have. Well, you can't, can you? 3 straight promotions, you can't beat that. So, yeah, it's brilliant up against the Southampton side, which I'm fascinated to see how Will Steele will do. I mean, he's only young, but he's still very experienced. Been a decade in coaching, but it's the first time in English football. I really like him. I think he's very adaptable. I think he's very versatile. But both these managers like to have strong defences. So I'm not necessarily predicting lots of goals, but I think it will be a really intriguing game.
Yeah, Scott, because you mentioned Will Steele there. It's like there's a lot of talk, obviously, with Wrexham and all of the Hollywood backing behind them, but it's a big game for Will, isn't it? And you're right, it feels like he's been around a long time, even though he's only 32.
Well, it's the first time he's been in English football, and yet even in England we've known about him for some time, haven't we? And fair play to him, born to English parents, but born in Belgium and worked in Belgium, obviously fluent in French. Worked in France as well, and did really well last season, finishing 8th, and they had the most clean sheets in Ligue 1, which does make me feel that actually it's not about this sort of pretty football, but let's try and make it effective. I like the way he talks, I like the way he comes across, but as I say, the psychological scarring, which I think he's already mentioned about, of what happened last season, that's his biggest obstacle, because in terms of talent, he's got the talent. They haven't brought in too many players. We do feel that there will be some players going out as well, so this is not going to be the side that he'll have for the rest of the season, but yeah, it's going to be fascinating to see how he does. It's 2 really good stories in the Championship here with these 2 sides.
And the interesting thing about Wrexham is you sort of feel for a lot of fans there's been a tipping point, famous people turn up, this is exciting, and it is great for the community, there's no doubt what they've done, but now quite a few fans thinking actually this series of the documentary would be quite good if they went back down again.
Maybe from a watching point of view, but I don't think anyone connected with Wrexham want that. And look, anyone thinking that they're not going to be in the Championship next season, it's not going up to the Premier League. I think I can hang my hat on that. I mean,
Yeah.
4 straight promotions would I talked about being insane for 3 would just be unbelievable. But look, it's about consolidation now. Same with my Charlton as well. But this is an incredible story where they brought in 8 players, but they've still got 8 players from the National League. It's interesting today, 6 of those 8 that he's brought in the summer will be starting. And I think, and I've spoken to Alan Kirbishley about this, that actually as much as you want to be loyal to the players who have got you there and you know they're good lads, and we spoke to him a couple of days ago on talkSPORT, and he's very much about the team spirit and the work ethic, and he doesn't want that change. But at the same point, you have to be ruthless as well. This is another big jump up, and we'll see how he goes, not just today, but the rest of the season.
All right, good stuff, Scott. Have a good game.
Cheers, guys.
Scott Minto there. Co-comes alongside Jim Proudfoot for Southampton versus Wrexham. Adrian Durham, your host, in about 15 minutes' time. But before that, there is always time for time difference. Ian Danter joins us from Knutsford Services. Let's go live to Knutsford Services, for there is always time for time difference. And here is your host, Ian, the Duke of Knutsford, Danter. Welcome, Dance.
Yes, a very good morning to you, and welcome to a brand new season of Time Difference. With a difference, because Charlie's not here, we have 2 contestants today trying to guess what minute famous goals
Dance,
hit the back of the net. Max Rushden
Dance.
and Alex Brooker.
Where have you been for the last...
Today. Good morning to you.
Dance, where have you been for the last 7, 8 weeks, 10 weeks?
Enjoying some time off. How about you?
I just think your commitment to time difference has come into question.
Has it really?
Yeah.
Well, Not to me, it hasn't.
Well, it should have done. You need to take a good hard look at yourself in the Knutsford mirror, in the mirror of Greg's. That's what you need to do.
Just to my left is our scorer, Jeff Peters.
Celebrity car.
In the car with me at Knutsford Services.
Commentators getting cars in coffees. It's nice. It's exciting, this. Welcome, Jeff.
Hi, Jeff.
Hello, all. How are you?
Really good. I'll put you on speaker for Dad. Right, crack on with it. We haven't got time for this. Come on, let's get on with it.
So I will say to Alex Brooker, which hand am I holding my phone with?
The left.
It is the left hand, Alex, so you get to go first or second.
I'll go first, please.
Cocky.
All right, then.
Cocky for Brooker.
So goal number 1, our EFL commentary season kicked off on talkSPORT when Luton beat AFC Wimbledon at Kenilworth Road. It was only 1-0, Alex. When did Ryan Johnson score the own goal that got the 3 points for the Hatters? What minute?
I think it was the 89th.
89. What say you, Max Rushden?
I think it was 85.
85. Let's hear it as it went in.
Woodrow could be in here. Oh, it's an own goal! An own goal by Ryan Johnson.
Well, we have a direct hit already on time difference with the first goal of the season. It's gone to Max Rushden, 85th minute.
Stars,
well
you mean
played,
to go
Max.
on. Thank
Jeff
you
Peters,
so much.
what are the scores on the doors?
Well, Max is on 0 and Alex is on 4.
Okay.
All right,
Still
so
close.
I'm intimidated.
Yeah,
You're
should be.
close. Max, remember, for those who aren't aware, direct hits really work if you're the trailing player.
Mm-hmm.
If you get a direct hit, then scores revert to 0-0, but it's 4-0 in
So
favour
nice to have you back, Dance.
of Max.
So, Max,
Yes, Dance.
Cardiff also got relegated. They got off to winning ways last Saturday against Peterborough. They won 2-1 coming from behind. When did young Ronan Capacchio score the winner?
The free kick was good from your man Colwell. I think he scored in the 68th minute.
What say you, Alex Brooker?
I'll go maybe 76th.
Let's hear it as it went in.
Capacchio! Oh, what a goal!
Oh, great comms.
What a way to get your first goal
Who's this?
for Cardiff City!
He's good. Who's that commentator? Must be young after
Don't know, he's
coming
an
one.
idiot. Anyway,
Yeah.
that goal went in on the hour, 60th minute. So what's the difference in scores now, Jeff Peters?
Max, 8 minutes out, so he is on 8. Alex. Is it Alex Brooker, Charlie Brooker? You've got to have a system. Alex, 16 minutes out, so he's on to 20, so Max leads by 12.
That's what I'm trying to do. If I go Charlie Baker, Alex Brooker, I'll get Charlie Brooker one day to go. That's what we're trying to get towards. Oh, yeah, of course, big lead here, isn't it? Pressure on Brooker now.
All right, so we go back to you, Alex, for goal number 3. Charlton are going to play Watford today on their return to the Championship. They came up via the playoffs, beat Leyton Orient 1-0 at Wembley. What minute did Macaulay Gillespie score the winner?
Whoa.
Tough one, isn't it? Not even Macaulay Gillespie remembers that.
I will say in the 80th.
All right, what say you, Max Rushden?
I can't remember. I think it was earlier than that, but I don't know. So I'm going to go 62nd.
Let's hear it as it went in.
And it's going to be Gillespie who hits it brilliantly!
Brilliantly!
And Charlton Athletic score! A wonderful goal!
It's not late.
It's not late. It's not that late, is it?
That went in much earlier than you both said. 31st minute in the end, so big time difference. And
well, Alex Brooker famously hates Charlton Athletic.
Now, Jeff.
So,
well, Alex was 49 minutes out on that guess, so moves on to 69.
Okay.
Max was 31 minutes out. He's on 39, so Max leads by 30.
By 30, this is big.
Remember, Alex, you've always got the option of getting a direct hit, and that would bring you back to 0-0. Let's see how we do with goal number 4 on time difference.
Don't you love the
Big year
idea?
for Frank Lampard and
Sorry,
Coventry
you love the
City
idea that
as
these
they
guys
take on Hull
they're not
City
listening to
today.
us.
They
Sorry,
were beaten
crack
by
on.
Sunderland in the playoffs last year thanks to Dan Ballard. When did he score that critical goal?
Sorry, who that's? We were having a conversation, but you're not taking any notice on anything we say.
Yeah, and I was trying to do my job. Typical.
Like the idea that you're in a lay-by and other cars, just someone might knock on your window or just flash their headlights. Maybe you crack on. What was the goal?
Well, I was trying to.
Yeah, who's it
Dan
to?
Ballard.
Yeah, who's
for
guessing?
Sunderland against Coventry in the playoff semi-final. What minute?
Who's guess?
It's yours, Max.
95.
Oh,
What say you, Alex Brooker?
It was the last minute of it. It was like extra time, injury time.
Oh,
I think
no.
it was. I think it was like the 123rd.
Oh, yeah.
Let's hear it as it went in.
Ball in. Ball in towards the near post. Ballard's there.
Well, so nearly a direct hit. 122nd minute, but that does pull some time back for Alex. Does it not, Jeff?
It does, Max. 27 minutes out. He's on to 66. Alex with a brilliant guess. He's 1 out onto 70. So the gap is just cut to 4 with 1 to go, and Max in the lead to go first.
Okay. Indeed. So,
I'll let myself down
Max,
there. Yes, Stance, nice to have you back.
to hang on to victory. Sheffield United play Bristol City today, live on talkSPORT 2 at tea time. Wasn't that long ago that Sheffield United won 6-0 against the Robins in the playoff semis. Callum O'Hare finished the scoring in the second leg in a 3-0 win. What minute did he score that goal?
'57.
What say you, Alex Brooker? You can go 5 either way to try and get the win.
I'm going to go for the 62nd.
Let's hear it as it went in.
It's O'Hare! 3-0 and a repeat in South Yorkshire from that that we saw in the Southwest.
That goal went in the 79th minute. It's gone Alex Brooker's way, Jeff Peters.
Final scores, Max 22 out onto 88. Alex was 17 out onto 87. Alex Brooker is today's champion.
Oh, what a comeback.
Well, as a result of that, thanks, Dance. Thanks, Jeff. I love that you live in a car together. It's a beautiful thing. As a result of that, Alex, I will never broadcast with you ever again.
Until Monday?
Until Monday at 1. Adrian Durham is next with Game Day Live.